Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. We are here after a 2-week break. Apologies for the break. The house decided that its wiring and electrics was going to not comply. After the pro event on the Friday night, the day after it, the power went off, didn't come back on, but we are back, and we are back with a bang. Kyalami for the 2 half-an-hour races here in the Whodarron Cup is what is to come today, and the weather is a mixture. I can tell you now that in this practice session so far, it started wet, it's dried up, there's a little shower coming back in within the closing stages of this free practice session, and it's going to be an interesting one to see where how this plays out in the races and the qualifying session itself after a wet Brands and a wet start to the season, which was 4 weeks ago. Now this should be week 5 and the halfway point of the season. I can't even remember where Hungaroring it was, but either way, we're here, South Africa. It is warm, 26 degrees track temp, so unlike the Brands and Hungaroring races, if there is a spell where it stops raining, or it starts wet or the track is wet and it starts, not raining at the start of the race, the track could dry pretty quick here tonight, so we'll see what happens. Mathew Duffin bringing you all the action with a returning face from a few seasons ago. Phil Raiden, PS5 Motorsport, for those who know him, is joining me in the commentary box tonight. Phil, great to have you back on the programme. And, Kyalami, you've took a win around this circuit. So, look, you've got a bit of inside knowledge here.
Yeah, I tried to join the lobby in my Bentley, but you won't let me.
Oh, I must have left it on a random car. I must have left it on mine.
It was on the Merc.
Yeah.
Why even Merc?
Yeah, I must have left it on a wrong car. Apologies.
But, I wanted to roll back the clock a bit, just join the lobby in my Bentley. That livery saved. Well, actually, it was the default livery.
Default livery, yeah. It was the blue British GT.
Team Parker Racing.
Team Parker Racing, that's the one. Looking forward to this one, though, Phil. The weather at Kyalami is going to play a factor. We know Kyalami is a beautiful circuit, one of the best on ACC, that I don't think gets used enough in the real world. The rain is going to add and make an interesting factor if and when it comes.
Well, all them last few seasons are not really having a wet race.
Yeah,
I was watching, and then all of a sudden, wet race.
Of this season, it's just been wet and only wet. But that's the beauty, I suppose, of the live weather format that we take. The championship standings, though, look a little like this. It is De Munster who leads the way on 326 points. Van der Ven, not here tonight in the KTM Crossbow, is on 262. Falcinelli is on 256. With your defending Whodarron Cup champion, the man we're currently viewing, Post, on 250. Started off a little slow as Post this season. Got to find the rhythm in this McLaren. But we know the McLaren struggles in its cornering and its braking ability. And while it's been that wet surface throughout Brands and Hungaroring, the McLaren does seem to have struggled here. But he's the fastest man on track so far. Then we've got Keynes, who is back this evening, down in 21st. Don't worry, he's not off the pace. He just said his lap time when it was really wet. Gary Leach is P6 from Wilbrink, who's currently second on the timing screen, so that's a good position for Wilbrink to be in. You can see him there just in front. There is your current gold championship leader. McGowan is P8 from Mez in 9th. Rosowski, McKenzie, and then Popisil is in P number 12. I just had to look at my monitor, it's a little bit to the right. In the silver category, it is Maiga who leads the way, 295 points to Gillies on 183, and them two are only separated by a tenth of a second. There is Gillies and Maiga currently sat in the pit lane, and right on cue, here comes that shower of rain with 6 minutes of practice to go. Macmillan is P3 from Benedict Varga in 4th, Jamie Lee from Herenditch, Popovic, Cummins, Vasic, Marsden, Andy Aberdeen, Gary Clarbel, Rob Ramsell, Bettison, Millington, Sturrock and Johnson round out the silver category. And in bronze, Cherry Moore leads by only a handful of points from that of Anderson, and once again them two are barely separated out there. Cherry Moore in the pits in his Chevy Camaro, and Anderson out on circuit. Then will be Neil Broom, he's third from Kruplan, Doosan, Privet, Smith, Crack, Winspear, Tipping and Stapley himself. And first of all, we do want to give a massive shout out to Rob Smith and his entire family, who received a bit of bad news last week and we hope that all gets sorted and everybody becomes well very, very soon. I'm not going to go into too much details about it. I don't feel that's fair on Rob or the family for me to share too much. It's down to Rob to share if he wants to. So Rob, from all of us here at SimPlay, we're all thinking of you and the family and hope that everything is better soon. But Phil, this is the conditions tonight. It's gone greasy very quick, and we've seen it go from wet to fast, back down to greasy now. It could be like this all night.
Excellent. Just what we like.
Just
bit like that Silverstone Enduro race.
Oh, what an
nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
it was wet, dry, wet, dry,
that
wet,
was
dry.
Fantastic weather. Paul Williams, evening all. Good to be back at it this week. Should be a great all 3 nights. Indeed, it should be. Craig Stofford says hello, all. Good luck, my guys at Momentum. And Wainwright says good luck, lads, as well. And indeed, it is good to be back. We are back with a full week of action. Pro-Am with myself and Langley, and I believe Pro with myself and Clouden. This week we'll be bringing you through all the dramas of SimPlay Motorsport. I'll be back as well next Tuesday. Not sure who with yet. But we'll then have the return of our commentator who stepped in for Brands Hatch for the 2 weeks after that due to his work schedule. He's going to chip in for the 2 Thursday nights at, I believe, which is week 5 and 6. And if I load the calendar up, I believe that is Laguna Seca and Snetterton. He will be here to take over. So 2 decent tracks to kick back and actually get to watch the Whodarron Cup action before bringing you the dramas of Pro-Am. But the rain is here. Lap times are now not going to improve. It is still a greasy surface, and we've only got 2 cars out on the circuit at the moment. That is this of Anderson and de Munster. Now, having won the Whodarron Cup a few seasons ago, or it may have been the season before it became the Whodarron Cup, won in the Mercedes-Benz in the championship. It didn't rain too much, but when I drove it in the wet, the little bit we had, it's actually a really good car. And these greasy conditions, Phil, still allow you to drive on that slick tyre. So maybe the chance for these two here with 3 minutes left on the clock to not panic, not go back to the pits and make any changes or put the wet tyre on, but just to get used to that condition and used to what the car is going to be doing as they carry on their merry way. Because the surface is obviously going to change, and it's going to be huge to see, you know, what they are going to be able to do if it is this going into the race. And it's actually now gone damp, so it's a bit more of a downpour than we thought, and everybody is just going to go and return to the pit lane. There they all are sat in the pits, as that is one of the Alpines coming out on circuit. We have got Johnson and Sturrock new to the series tonight. Sturrock in the Alpine, and there is still a KTM on the circuit of Michael Johnson. The last time we saw the KTM crossbow, Phil, before Van der Ven at Hungaroring, was yourself a couple of seasons ago as a reserve driver. Lovely little car in the wet conditions.
Yeah, but it never rained when I drove it.
No, that's the problem.
It never rained when I drove it. I ended up in the war more times than... Yeah.
It was a beauty of a car, though, in them wet conditions, wasn't it? It really has that stability and, you know, the ability to just corner well. All right, it lacks a bit in top speed, but when it's wet, top speed kind of goes out the window because you've got to make sure you get out the corners to get to top speed, and that's what the KTM does very, very well, especially in these tricky conditions.
Yeah, I can't remember the KTM driving that much. I think I must have scrubbed it from my brain. Some reason. I don't know why. I do know why, but I can't go into that now.
We've got Post in the chat as well who says, we're back. This will be a difficult race with the fast-changing conditions. Indeed it will, and we are up to 25 drivers. Mackenzie and Falcinelli have got in, so we've got 2 more gold drivers on the grid as well, just strengthening up that gold category. And with Kane's not setting a proper lap time in the dry, you know, that Miga, Clawball, Gillies fight for P5, 6 and 7 maybe around that 8th, 9th, 10th mark with 3 other gold drivers down the order. But a very jumbled up grid, especially when you look at them golds and silvers. Cherrymore and Anderson mixing it with the front 4 in silver, and then Neil Broom just outside the top 5 in silver, quicker than a few of the other cars. So a bit of a jumbled up grid between the silver and the bronzes, and this is going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, now you don't want... Now you won't want to... You probably want to be on the wets. Because the slicks will just drop off temperature very quickly. No tyre warmers in GT4s. In fact, there's no Tire Warren was an Avid GT3 in real life either, so...
Yeah, they're all in the same boat.
Or in Le Mans, hypercar.
Yeah, hypercars.
Yeah.
Which, did we all hear the news about World Endurance? It's been postponed at the start. Again, we're not going to go into reasons. We're not allowed to. Now we're monetised to mention.
And we may lose a few Formula 1 races.
We may.
Because of the same reasons.
We all know why. We're obviously not going to say it because of monetisation purposes on the channel, which we can lose for talking about it. But
and
yeah,
overqualifying as bone dry.
WECA's postponed the Qatar race, and we may lose Saudi and Bahrain, or they may be pushed back. Who knows? But like Phil's just said, qualifying is bone dry. Post is the first man out there. Wipers still ablaze though for Post. Good old Dean Wasocki style, that keeping the wipers on while there's no rain going.
That's my style. I did it before Dean.
No, Dean did it on Project Cars 2 all the time. That was before.
I did it on Gran Turismo 5.
Benedict Varga, good evening, gents. Benny, shame to not see you out there on the circuit tonight, buddy. It would have been I feel like you could have done something out there tonight. But either way, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up if you are new. As Benedict Varga says, oh my God, is that PN I hear? Hello, he says. It is PN.
No, it's figment of your imagination, Benny.
And either way, qualifying. Beautiful sunny skies now. Track's gone up to 30 degrees, so it's got even warmer, Phil, for these drivers. As you can see, Post here just warming them tyres up. Now, we know the McLaren's so superior in a straight line. You've got a couple of, sections of this circuit which are flat out, and that could really suit Post down to the ground here in this McLaren.
Yeah, could. I'm just wondering who's the cheater going to kill.
Yeah.
We've got a few people in the past.
Not even mentioned the cheater as of yet. I forgot about the cheater, but yeah, it has. It's claimed its victims.
Never forget the cheater. The only car I know that could take the cheater was the Bentley.
Dan Chevrolet Camaro. We did it here in another league. Me and Dan did a GT4 race. Dan Chevrolet Camaro handled the cheater rather well. So basically, anything big and bulky. The Ford Mustang would probably take it, to be fair, because that's as big as the Bentley. But either way, Post exits the final corner, and we are about, for the first time in this session, to start qualifying here at Kyalami as he pulls to the close side of the pit wall and comes down the hill towards turn number 1. There's a couple of drivers that have only just left the pit lane, so he might just gain on a bit of traffic throughout his first flying lap. Now, them drivers do have to move out of the way of Post because they are technically not on a lap time. They are on not an invalid lap, but just no lap at all. So they will have to move out of Post's way, and that could hurt what looks to be car number 8 and car number 48. So I believe that is Gillies and Popovic down the order then. So we'll see what happens there. Benedict Varga saying uni-schedule, that's why he's not racing tonight. Benedict Varga, I did my debut here in Kyalami in the Jag. Sweet, sweet memories. And that would have been back on the PS4 days in the Pro Series for Benny Varga.
And last time I saw the Jag was buried in the wall at Bathurst in that endurance race because it did a not now Kato.
Yeah.
And put me in the wall on the end of my bin.
And speaking of endurance races, actually I forgot that this week as well, Yoshi will be back in the commentary box. Yoshi Harris on Saturday. Bit of an earlier start time, 2 hours earlier, as we see a Mercedes-Benz stopped down the hill on the mine shaft then. And I'm not quite sure who that is. Car number 3. That is championship leader in Gold de Munster. But yeah, the 6 hours of the Nordschleife will be hitting the screens on Saturday. Yoshi Harris will be bringing you all the action and drama from the Nordschleife for the
I'm walking back and forth my chair,
season 2. Remember the 24 hours, yeah. It was not a good time. But yeah, that should be an interesting race indeed. Which I will be driving in that one, so you'll be able to see me back out on the track. But Post comes towards the line now to complete his first flying lap of the session, and a 150.6 is the benchmark to beat already in this one. The 1-2-3 of Alistair Cummins is rounding the final corner. We'll try and keep up to date with everybody that is coming around. Here comes Alistair Cummins. Towards the line he goes, puts a lap time in. It's 5th fastest at the moment. We'll go to Gary Clarbel now. What can he do? Currently 14th place in his Ginetta. Great to see Clarbel back out there at the moment. And we'll see what he can do as he comes to the line now. Drops it into P number 6, the 160 of Andy Aberdeen. Great to see Andy back as well. Comes towards the final corner. Will try and pick up the 381 of Vasic. As down towards the line he goes, and Aberdeen goes into 10th. Here is Vasic. What will Vasic do as he comes across the line now? And he puts himself up into P7. Car 78 is coming to the line. That is Wilbrink. Wilbrink was on the pace in that practice session to the line and goes within 2/10 of post end. Cherry Moore. We know how quick Cherry Moore is, and as it's getting better and better as the seasons go on. He goes into 9th place at the moment. The 75 of Betterson. First time we're seeing Betterson out here in a GT4 tonight. In that McLaren towards the line, 14th fastest for him. The 473. That is Jamie Lee in his Mercedes-Benz GT4. Comes P14. And then the 48 of Gillies. Fighting hard in that silver championship over Maiger. But just needs to start to claw some points back over him. And what will he be able to do here? Ginetta, lovely car around this circuit as well. I remember when Gary Leach finally got that 25th race win of his after so long at this circuit in the Ginetta. So the Ginetta goes well.
That's the same race I lost it with the KTM.
Oh, there we go then.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly so. Yeah, not too sure. Possibly so.
I can't remember. In my day.
Where's Cairns on circuit? He's just coming down towards the mine chef Sturrock. Popovic in the pit lane. He will stay on board with Sturrock then in the yellow and silver Alpine car. The 555 Mercedes-Benz driver in Pro-Am tomorrow night. Rounds the final corner. What's he going to do lap time wise here as he comes towards the line? Is this going to be a better lap time for him? No lap time there. What about the BMW M4 of Falcinelli? No, there's another one of Privet. Apologies, who is up into P13. The 78 of Wilbrink, half a second now off the back of post. Has he got anything left in the tank? Him and De Munster have done the exact same lap time at the moment. Clawball is sat 4th with Gareth Anderson in 5th place. And Wilbrink finds 2/10 of a second there. The number 75.
His lap.
That's a Ken struggling at the moment. The only gold driver not to get a lap time in. The only other drivers not to get a lap time in are silver drivers of Marsden, Johnson, Sturrock and Popovic. And here comes Betterson. Can he find any more time? Yes, he does. Shoots himself up into the top 10. P9 for the McLaren driver. Jamie Lee's coming towards the line. And then we'll try and pick up the 888 of Neil Broom in just a moment. Jamie Lee to the line, stays P16. What about Neil Broom? Towards the line he comes, 20th place at the moment, and goes up to 16th. Knocks Jamie Lee down one in this lap. We've got 2 3/4 minutes left, and still 5 drivers yet to set a lap time.
Marsden and Johnson are in the pits. Oh, are they on quali bands?
No quali bands. No quali bands for this evening. We know Johnson doesn't like to qualify, though, does he, sometimes, as post doesn't
find
that
sounds like me.
An improvement. So who's that guy?
That
Future
like...
Revenge as well. He didn't qualify. And we
No, I did qualify though when we had the AM series.
Future Revenge didn't, though, in the AM series, if you remember. We said he'd have won the AM championship had it not been for the fact he didn't qualify, because he kept ending up
I would have won it if I didn't miss Monza.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maiger moves up into 2nd place at the moment, only a 10th and a bit off of post in this qualifying session so far then. So interesting to see at the moment these qualifying laps come in so far. The 381, that is Vasic. Lovely looking livery on that Mercedes-Benz. Nice little pattern on that, the orange and the silver. Or is it white? Yeah, it's white, sorry. And he stays P12 at the moment. Next driver to the line is the 186. And that is Cherry Moore, who by his standards is a little down the order at the moment. And I believe Cairns just done a lap time. He has. He's just gone up into P3. So Cairns has managed to get a lap time on the board. Here comes Cherry Moore now to come towards the line. Stays P14. What about Popisilli? Popisil, sorry. In the Chevrolet. Goes within a second, but still P12 at the moment.
Nice and tight at the top, really,
yeah,
within a second.
Not a lot of improvement so at the moment out there, is there?
Nah, and look, in 10 minutes' time is a rain shower.
Well, that could play dividends. Actually, it won't, because there's still 50 minutes to go after this qualifying session. No, there's an hour and 50 minutes to go until the race starts. As Gillies moves up into P6, goes within half a second now between the top 6 out there on the track. Is that De Munster coming around the final corner? It was indeed. So what can De Munster do before we go to the 95 of Anderson? De Munster moves up to 3rd place. Anderson has stopped and we'll call that to the pit. So here's Falcinelli in his red, grey and white BMW M4, stays P9. Just hasn't found his form from the Super Trofeo Ferrari Challenge Porsche Cup fun event at Spa, where he dominated in the Super Trofeo. He just cannot find the form of that. Sturrock currently 3 seconds off the pace. He's next towards the line.
Popovic, is that right? He just messed up his hot lap, and oh look, no, he's not going to get time in because he ran out of time. He ran wide and it wasn't invalidated.
Yeah, there we go. So Popovic doesn't get a lap time on the board. Who is the 78? That is Wilbury. Can he find any more time? I don't think he's going to, because he pulled straight across to the pit line and parks that one. The 186 is going to come to the line next. That is Cherry Moore. He'll be open for a good last run. Most successful driver at this circuit, Ripper. You like the Ripper. 3 poles, 4 wins at this circuit. Absolutely loved this place, did Ripper. Went very well. Here comes Cherry Moore. Stays in P16. He'll be disappointed with that one.
I know someone else who likes this place. Don't know why. My first win and my second win was Bathurst. Everyone's done. Nearly.
Just seeing Broom. Yeah, sorry. I was just adding for the most successful page.
Miga is still on a lap.
Who's the 48? This is Gillies. So Gillies
Miga's
here.
done.
Gillies is looking for that pole position in the silver category and will just pip it by 40. It is only 44 thousandths of a second off of Post's time. De Munster rounds the final corner. Has he got anything else left in the locker to try and take pole position? Don't think he has. Comes to the line. Stays in P4. Falcinelli is in the wall, and we turn our attention to car number 8, which is Popovic still circling, even though he is done. So that is your qualifying over, I do believe, because he has got the checkered flag next to his name. So qualifying is done, and it is Post who takes gold pole.
Who's on? And Gillies is on silver pole. I can't. Thanks, game. I've forgotten the buttons again.
I don't know where I've put my pad. It's there.
I've got my pad. Hang on, it's just took me off my broadcast settings I had on the pad to change the cameras.
Right, so who is on pole for bronze? That will be Anderson. So that's a crucial point to put him a bit closer to Cherry Moore in this championship. It's Gillies on pole that puts him a little bit closer to Miga in this championship. And then we've got Post on pole, who puts him a little bit closer to gaining from P4. No rain forecast for this race, so let's see what will happen in the early stages of it. As we say evening to Matt Wright, who says, oh, Michael, note for comms. Betting is a silver driver.
Betterson is a silver driver.
I think he means Beto. Yeah, sorry, yeah, Betterson. Anderson Flying says Stoffard, and Lovett says Beto. So Beto is a silver driver in this, not a bronze driver. Well, then that one will be Mike's fault. Is Betterson a silver? Are you sure? Because Betterson signed up at the start of the season. Let me take a look. Yes, he is a silver driver because he's down on my tables as silver.
So on everyone's screens, round for 75, colour it in silver. There you go.
30 seconds.
Right then, Phil, who are you going for?
The Monster, championship leader.
20 seconds.
I don't know who other people are.
10 seconds.
Sorry, I was just doing the poll. You're going for De Monster from 4th place. I think Post may take this one straight away. But it is dark overhead.
I want to say it.
Here.
Post's car, Monster Energy.
Slightly. It's more grey than black, but slightly. I believe we've got 2 on the Pro night. I think Stoffard and Wainwright's Pro cars are more Monster Energy with the green and black.
It's not good for you people. Now, if I was doing my own, I would say what I really think. Take that and throw it in the something trash.
Right.
Don't touch it now.
So grid order
not
for
good
this
for you.
race is Post from Gillies from Maiger, De Munster from Cairns, Wilbrink from Mackenzie, Clawbell will be with Anderson. Anderson will be with Falcinelli. Falcinelli's yet to get going, so he could get teleported back to the pits here. Vasic from Betterson. Pospisil is P13 from Broome, Privet, Jamie Lee, Cherrymore, Cummings, Aberdeen, Kruppeljan, Stapley, Sturrock, Marsden, Johnson, Popovich, as Falcinelli has been teleported to the pit. So everybody from 11th down will be promoted one spot. Falcinelli will have to come from that pit lane. So not the start to the night that Falcinelli, who's currently sat third in the championship, would have wanted there.
Okay. From the helicopter cam, it looks quite dark over there.
I was thinking the same thing. Headlights, Gillies headlights in second place and De Munster's in fourth. You can see very clear on the surface of the road how much they are lighting up in front of him. It has gone up one more degree on the track temperature as well, so it has just got that little bit warmer in this start of the race session. But no showers as of yet here.
You watch it go green and then rain, rain, rain.
That'd be absolutely brilliant. I'd love that. But so far, no forecast of showers for race one. There is the second race coming. Remember, tomorrow night and Thursday will be the first of the 90-minute races. So only a one-off race, no sprint or feature tomorrow night. One-off 90-minute race where points are times by 1.5. So you get 1.5 extra value for your points per position. And let's not forget that this week the drop scores will reflect on the championship standings. So drop scores will take place from this week. So the championship standings may have a different twist to them by what we say at the end of the night. But remember, at the end of the night, they are only provisional due to the fact that stewards' incidents may come in over the 24-hour window that drivers have to submit any incidents. Phil's gone for De Munster. I think Post will run away with this one. There's a flashing Chevrolet Camaro of what I believe is Mackenzie. Just giving the drivers in front a flash of his lights, and you could see them flashing as bright as anything. So it's gone to light cloud now, so I might just start to brighten up a little bit here. But let's wait and see what will happen as we round the final corner. And for the first time this evening, so great to be back bringing you the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. We are about to get underway. Post on pole with the silver pole alongside him of Gillies. What will happen down into turn one? We are about to be green and go for round number 6 of the season, round number 5 of the season, and Post gets a pretty good start. That Janetta of Gillies though has gone with him. They enter in towards turn 1. The McLaren just started to stretch its legs. You can see there as the two Mercedes-Benz, that is Cairns, looking up the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. In the background, no can do for Cairns. I don't think he actually made a single position there, and they all filter through quite nicely. Mackenzie and that of Clawbell going side by side. Mackenzie getting through. We're all through nice and clean. Falcinelli's got going from the pits, and we all come out of turn 4, line of stern. Great start to this race as here goes Mackenzie once again. Now looking up the inside of that of what looks to be Cairns, and through he goes through sector 1. Mackenzie starting to work his way forward in the early stages of this race, but out front Post did hold on from Gillies with Maiger, De Munster, Wilbrink. Then Mackenzie, Cairns, Clawbell. What's happening further down the order? That's Cherry Moore side by side. In fact, no, he's just got past the Aston Martin of Neil Broome, it looks like. And further in front, Privet and Jamie Lee are going at it. I don't think that is Privet anymore. It might be, because Privet is coming under pressure from Cherry Moore. That was also Mackenzie looking to make a move up in towards the hairpin at the top of the hill. No, he does not, though. And what did Cherry Moore do over Privet? Stays tucked in behind. So all clean through at the moment. Kruppeljan looking to try and get round the outside in his Chevrolet Camaro of the Aston Martin of Broome. Down through the mine shaft, there you go. Now round the outside goes that Chevrolet Camaro. That's somebody off in front. Believe that is Betterson off in front. And Kruppeljan here will have that inside line in towards the Crocodile. And is that move done, or has Broom stuck it on the outside? It's such a wide circuit here at Kyalami. They are still side by side in towards the Cheetah. The Camaro bounces over it, and it survives the Cheetah for the first time round. And that was Cummins, who looked a little off there. And now Cummins looking to make a move up the inside of two of them. And one of them is, I think, Popovic. And the Ginetta have possibly stapled it. And Cummins now coming under pressure from that of Sturrock, who's trying to get onto the back. They're three wide, coming down the start straight onto the helicopter camera here. Cummins in the middle of this between Marsden, himself and Sturrock. And now Michael Johnson fancies a late lunge up the inside and gets Sturrock, gets Cummins. Is he going to look up the inside line of Marsden? No, he's not. But what a good opening lap to the race, Phil.
That was very clean, wasn't it? That's the cleanest race start I've seen in SimPlay.
It is, for a very long time. Gillies has started to lose out to post. Maiger's going with him, as is De Munster. Then it's Wilbrink. And that, oh, who was that just off there? That was Maiger all over the outside curbing, clipping up a bit of grass there as he's trying to put pressure on his championship rival of Gillies here. But all so far looking pretty good.
And have you looked at seeing what's on the radar in half an hour?
Shame the race will probably be ending, although a last lap rain shower could put a spanner in the works here. Gillies goes defensive. That is Micah trying to look the long way around Gillies, and that could have just left the door open for De Munster, the championship leader, to come up the inside. Remember, points are scored for overall positions, so this for De Munster in his championship, he's losing out a lot of points over post because it is overall points for the three categories. It's not per class. It is overall. So at the moment, Post is just going to be able to pull some points back over De Munster so far. What's happening back down the rear of the grid? Johnson has got clear of Marsden. Sturrock, Cummins, Falcinelli's not a million miles away, so he's been closing in a little bit. Cherry Moore still stuck behind Privet. And Jack McKenzie then is into the pit lane. Not sure why. Must be low fuel.
Must be. Don't tell me they forgot to put fuel in the car.
Has to have left his qualifying fuel in, doesn't he? There, surely, as Gillies goes defensive over Maiger in towards turn one. That Mercedes just using its grunt. Oh, they make contact! I think Gillies was having a slide, but Maiger taps him and off goes Gillies in a big fashion. And how many places has he lost there? He's tumbling behind Jamie Lee. So that'll be 11th place. De Munster now trying to attack the back of Maiger, but this is opening the door for Wilbrink, who gets past De Munster. So as De Munster gets a place back, and to add to Mackenzie's woes, he gets a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But what an incident that was at turn two. Now all of a sudden, Cairns is on the back and Wilbrink's in the mix here with Maiger and De Munster.
Yeah, it's just getting a bit spicy. Well, the Mercedes been in front of Wilbrink in the Monster Energy Aston Martin. Or Xbox, one of the two.
And De Munster's coming under pressure from Cairns here. Cairns, who had such a good Hungaroring, missed Brands Hatch, but he's back now for Kyalami. And as they come up to the top of the hill, just cannot get past that Mercedes-Benz at the moment. Wilbrink was having a look underneath Maiger. That promotes Clauble to second place in class as well. Let's not forget that one. Clauble up to second place. Vasic now up into third. Gareth Anderson, your bronze leader from Privet, and then Cherry Moore. Bettison on his first outing in the GT4s, trying to get onto that podium. In fact, no, he's a silver category driver. Apologies, I need to remember that he is a silver category driver. With
silver,
Broom
silver.
And Aberdeen, yeah, exactly. Broom and Aberdeen just down the order a little bit more. We've got Stapley having a look at Popovic. Can't get anything done. Here's Michael Johnson trying to come through in that KTM. Let's just go on board the KTM for a moment because, oh, that's somebody off. Oh, just as we go on board, it was Neil Broom, who must have fell foul at the Cheetah.
Oh,
and then that's Gillies.
Gillies has lost it at the final corner.
Gillies in the wall at the final corner. Doesn't look too much damage on the front of that car, but Neil Broom is facing the wrong way. And it looks like possibly Marsden as well has had a moment at the Cheetah. Indeed, he has. So Marsden's had a moment at the Cheetah, or has just collected Broom hard, but Broom rolling into the pit lane, and now Cummins attacking the rear of Gillies, who's had a lap two to forget. What an opener to this race.
Yep.
Stop go still
Mackenzie's
for Mackenzie. Yeah, he's stayed out, hasn't he? De Munster's got past Wilbrink. So where's Maiger? He's just up the road. Kane's looking on the rear of Wilbrink now, and that is Clauble coming under pressure from Gareth Anderson. Second place in silver versus your bronze leader at the moment. Going at it so far in this race. Rain on the radar, says Matt Wright. I don't think it'll hit. I think it came up a little too late as Anderson to the outside line at the hairpin at the top of the hill, looking for that up and under on Gary Clarbell. But Clarbell's an intelligent driver, parks it on the apex, and now will just hold his line coming down the mine shaft, and he'll just keep that car exactly where he needs. Where he needs it. Ready for the crocodiles. Here comes Anderson, late pull out, late lunge from Anderson. It's a wide part of the circuit. Up the inside he goes. They're still absolutely side by side. No contact made. And now they're going to go side by side. Who backs out of it? None of them back out of it. Clarbell a little bit wider to not hit the cheater, so that he could give Anderson the room to not hit the cheater. They're still together. Great bit of racing here at Kyalami. Now Vasic, I believe it is, having a look, and Popisil is having a look in the Chevrolet Camaro just behind. This is on board with that Chevrolet, looking at that Ginetta and that Mercedes-Benz coming down in towards turn 1 they go. Anderson's going to try it around the outside line. Can he get it done? Swings it round the outside of turn 1. He'll give him the inside for turn number 2. The Chevrolet and the Mercedes in the background still together, not anymore. And Clarbell just trying to keep that nose up the inside, breaks a little earlier, and Anderson moves up into 6th place. And now here comes Vasic to try and put the Ginetta under even more pressure. What a bit of racing, Phil.
That was absolutely beautiful. Once no contact really made on our screen.
No.
It might have been a bit of a
netcode.
magical netcode.
But side by side through the cheetah, absolutely fantastic stuff. And Vasic does get Clarbell for 2nd place in silver now.
Yeah, so while Post is checking out in front, in the McLaren, probably see that rain. That rain's changed to heavy rain, by the way.
I have just noticed that one, so we'll keep our eyes on if that does come throughout this race.
Gone up another degree in track.
Oh, it has as well, yeah. It's up to 32 degrees, but the sun's out a bit more now. Look, at the moment it is more sun than cloud. And Popisil just...
Broom's not moved yet, so...
No, he's still in the pits. Mackenzie's in for a stop-go penalty. Gillies is on the back of... No, he's not, because Johnson, I've just gone on board him. He's had a moment coming through the S's. So that's put Johnson down behind Gillies and Sturrock and Cummings and Betterson. And Marsden's just past him, but Marsden is carrying a lot of damage there. And Popisil is just trying to have a look on the back of Gary Clarbell now. Kane still stuck to the back of Wilbrink, cannot get through. And no surprise, Post has the fastest lap of the race. Obviously the fastest lap, the drivers in each category will get a point for it.
Falcinelli's back in the pits as well. In the metallic red BMW?
Yeah, he's in the pits, yeah. So Falcinelli into the pits as Kane's trying to look on Wilbrink, who went a little deep on the exit of turn 1. Sliding over the curbs is Wilbrink, and Kane's now up the inside. Through he goes, up into the podium. Up into P4. And Kane's in the Ginetta, just slowly working his way forward. Good evening to Swindlemac in the chat, who says, hello, SimPlay and chat. Hope you're well. Looks like I tuned in at the perfect time. Up on the wheel time. He says, great to see you here, Swindlemac. Great to see you part of the action once again. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And Keynes moves up another place. But look at this fight behind. Still raging on between Anderson, Vasic, Clarbell, and that of Popisil then. We've got Cherrymore still on the back of Privet, having a look up the inside. Privet was a little deep there, can't find anything. Aberdeen trying to get past that of Kruppeljan, with Popovic with him. We've got Gillies trying to close down on Stapley, trying to claw back points, because Maiga's currently in 2nd place. Bettison gaining on Sturrock. And we have got Falcinelli and Broom in the pits. They've been in the pits for a while as well. They're both 3 laps down in this race. But what a fight in this mid-pack of the battle we've got. We've just gone back to Wilbrink, though, who's having a look on Keynes. Pulls out on that inside line of the Crocodiles. Can't break later than him. So the Aston Martin can't make the move through the Crocodiles. That will not give him the inside line for Cheetah, neither. You can see the 4 in the background as well. Maiga's just pulled that gap down a little bit to Post, though, Phil.
Yeah, he's pulled it down a little bit. Maybe Post is just in a rhythm and just sort of like watching to see what that rain does. Maybe. I know I would have a car on Saturday and go, ooh, that's going to be fun. Or his tyres maybe a bit going off a bit because it has got warmer than it was in practice. So,
yeah,
ooh, that was a lot of curb.
Maybe a little bit too high because, yeah, like I say,
it was not this warm in practice
no, it was
for track temps. So
26, wasn't it? It's about 6 degrees warmer now than what it was in practice, I believe.
yeah, and in this game, see,
Yeah.
well, tyres
Six
really
degrees is
matter.
about 6 clicks on your
Didn't
tyres.
iRacing Arcade release today?
Not a clue. Not been up to date with everything that's been going off at home. Not been able to keep up to date with whatever game
Oh,
has gone on.
Posters pulled out about 4/10 of a second.
Yeah, so he's managed to open that gap back up. Vasic was on the back of Clawball, but that's opened up a little bit more. Cherry Moore stuck to the back of what is Jamie Lee now. So he's got past Privet and he's on the back now of Jamie Lee. As we say good evening to Darren Yo, says can't beat the GT4s, boys. Indeed, you cannot. And Cherry Moore looking all over the back of Jamie Lee here. And does he get a bit of a run on him out the S's there? Is that going to leave the door open on the inside line in towards the hairpin at the top of the hill? And Cherry Moore, I think, could have braked a little later. Jamie Lee gave him the room there, Phil, but he just didn't have the confidence, although he's still got the momentum. No, he hasn't.
No, the Merc is just in front. But he's having a little sniff, you know.
Shows what pace he's got, because he's cleared Privet by 2.6 seconds and has got onto the back of Jamie Lee, just behind Aberdeen, Popovic. And then you've got Krupeljan and Gillies. Gillies looking to make a move now on the Chevrolet in towards the Crocodiles. Gillies had a nightmare lap 2. And is this
not
Gillies?
lap 3 as well.
Yeah, nightmare lap 3 as well. And Gillies now side by side through the cheetah. They go. Gillies, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. First one of them of the evening. Betterson's gaining on Sturrock. Let's go back to that Cherry Moore Jamie Lee fight. As Swindle Max says 100%, and Dust says evening PM in the chat there. Then so it's post from Maiga, from De Munster, your top 3. Maiga, your silver leader, and Anderson, your bronze leader in this one. Then, but what a race! What an opening race here at Kyalami. It's been a great start to the race.
Oh, yeah, I still can't believe how clean lap 1 was. That was so clean.
I was expecting at least a spinner.
Off.
Yeah, I was expecting at least a spinner of some sort, but no, nothing. Absolutely clean as a whistle. And this fight's still raging on here. Vasic just pulling away from Clawball. And Poppersill just a little bit. Anderson has gone. He's 1.3 clear of Vasic. And that's a big gap. There's 4 cars between himself and Cherry Moore. Cherry Moore would love to make that 3 cars if he can get past Jamie Lee, but he's just still stuck on the back of him. Gillies looking to make another move here on Popovic. Coming down through the S as they go. Broom and Falcinelli still in the pit lane, although it looks like Falcinelli's coming out the pits now. Yes, indeed he does. So Falcinelli comes out the pits. Broom's still in there. That may be a retirement and no points there for Broom. Up the hill comes Popovic into the hairpin side by side with Gillies. Is he going to get this one done? I'd imagine the grunt of that Mercedes-Benz will allow it to sail past the Ginetta down the mine shaft in towards the Crocodiles they go. But Gillies, Ginetta keeping it and holding it strong through the left hand. A bit of a hip and shoulder move there between the two of them, just coming together. And Gillies does find his way past Popovic. So Gillies moves up yet another spot to close end points on Maiga.
Has to now, because Maiga's sitting in P2 and going to get a nice healthy amount of points.
He is indeed. Indeed he is. Can Gillies has got Aberdeen next, so Aberdeen's no pushover, but you feel that Gillies' pace is a bit quicker than Aberdeen's at the moment, so you know, Andy's a cracking driver and will hold his own, but still half this race to go. That weather hasn't changed at all, by the way. That heavy rain shower is still imminent within 30 minutes. It's now changed to less of a heavier rain shower, which I think means that in a couple of moments' time that may pop up on the 10-minute mark, as here comes Gillies already putting the attack onto Aberdeen. Up the inside through turn number 4. Great bit of racing from the pair of them, and Aberdeen's about to get another position, I feel, here. He's still side by side. The Ginetta's fully together, wheel to wheel. The Merc sticking with them as well, just has nowhere to go. Aberdeen gets in front. Gillies now trying to fend off that of Popovic as Popovic looks right around the outside. Gillies will now have that inside line for turn number 6, and he manages to just stay in front. But Aberdeen there, this is what I'm saying, he is a fighter. Won't give it up too easy.
No, elbows out, Torn car-esque. Did you see the Ford?
Yeah, more than that delivery, it looks quite nice, doesn't it?
Well, it's nice that they're trying to use the saloon.
Yeah.
Instead of a hatch all the time. You know, because race on Sunday, sell on Monday.
Exactly.
Motorsport.
let's see what happens. Come the British Touring Cars in a month's time. Bettison's getting closer to Sturrock. That's 0.2 of a second between the two bright yellow, or one bright yellow and one yellow, orangey kind of coloured McLaren. Cummins gaining on the back of Kruppeljan here. Not quite papaya. That's, not
It's
quite
orange,
papaya.
okay? It's orange.
No tangerines, Tony. As Gillies gets still once again onto the back of Aberdeen. It looks like he's got a scuff on that right-hand side door panel. Gillies gets the run out the final corner, decides to pull out already. He's going to be side by side. Let's get to the heli camera. He's nowhere near side by side yet. Aberdeen looks like he's got a good amount of straight line speed in that Ginetta. Gillies going to try and brake later. There you see him brake later into turn number 1. And through he goes at turn number 1.
Parked it on the apex.
Lovely little move. Beautiful.
Job done.
Yeah. Easy as you like. Gap out front,
Meanwhile,
5.4 seconds.
Is catching Maiga.
He is. I don't think Maiga's got the pace at the moment. He's 5.4 off the back of Post. And De Munster's only 1.1 off the back of him. Broom's still in the pit lane then. And this is that fight. Anderson's been caught by Vasic, who's brought Clauble and Popisil with him. Although not too close, but, you know, still there. So
Vessi should have very Halford's Urasa racing colour scheme there.
it is, isn't it? It's nice. On the Merc, you know, that I used to
On
drive.
the Merc. I
Lovely.
wonder where we've seen that before.
Yeah, lovely that. That's a beautiful looking colour scheme there. Mathew-esque.
I love it that Clarville's still got the same colours. Never change, Gary. Never change.
Swindlemack says Ginetta, the little car that can. You more kind of will it than can it. At times, big slide for Vasic there. That was the only bonus about season 1 of the Whodarron Cup, is you didn't have to bounce in the chair against the Merc or the McLaren because everybody was in the Ginetta.
Yeah. You didn't have to sit there going, come on, rocking back and forth. Come on.
On a track like Zandvoort where the Ginetta's really good, and then you get to a track like Monza where it's just absolutely awful. Hey, that was the fun of the first season of the Whodarron Cup, and yeah, long may the Whodarron Cup continue on a Tuesday night. Cherry Moore, he's lost a little bit to Lee. De Munster's within a second now of Maiga. There, them two are in the Mercedes-Benz. Cairns can't really go with De Munster, just showing that Ginetta just, you know, this circuit will suit that top speed a bit more than the more stable car through the corners.
But
like
if it did
Ginetta.
rain.
If it did rain, Cairns is well into this race. Cloud cover's come back over once again. Wind's just picked up a kilometre as well, so that'll just start to... The drivers will notice that through certain corners. And De Munster's got the gap down to 0.8 of a second here, so...
Maiga's being very defensive. He's on the curbs, so he's trying to defend.
Just struggling a little bit, it looks like, from Maiga there. You know, he looked like he had good early pace, but that pace just seems to have gone here.
Tyres have gone off because, again, track temps completely different than practice.
Yeah. And that's the difficulty of practice. You don't really try and set your track temps in them, do you? You want to try and get them done in the practice sessions leading up to the race that are all set to 2 p.m. You know, you don't really want to be changing them pressures come that first practice session of the day, because it is... Well, he bounces off the cheater there, does Maiga. That's not going to help his cause at all. Anderson coming under pressure a little bit from Vasic. Clauble has gained 0.2 over Vasic, but Popisil is all over the back of him. So, still a few battles raging on here. And we'll just see
Also,
what the gaps look like.
Cummings on the back of...
yeah, Kruppeljan.
In the Alpine.
Kruppeljan very, very wide there. And here comes Cummings. Thought he was going to look on the inside. Not quite, no. Kruppeljan just was able to chop the nose off as he rejoined onto the circuit. Falcinelli back into the pit lane in this race then. And Kruppeljan just struggling a little bit there. Again, the Alpine, not the best straight line on that call. Gillies within 0.4 now of Privet. Gillies is absolutely charging at the moment. He is a man on a mission and wants to try and make up a couple of plays. In fact, where has Privet gone? Privet must have made a mistake. I just looked away at the chat for 2 seconds and Privet must have made a mistake. He's just fell behind that of Stapley.
He's still...
So Privet goes off the bronze podium because Stapley's now just got past him. So Gillies up into 12th place. Was there any contact? Not too sure. But Gillies has gone very wide there. This could open the door back up for Aberdeen. Cherry Moore is 4.6 seconds up the road. Still 8 minutes left. Rain's coming in 10. I think this rain shower is going to come just after this race is finished. I really do think that, which is a shame. But I think that's where it's going to be.
Oh. Trap, it has dropped a degree, track tempo.
Yeah, clouds come over a little bit thicker. So, interesting. We'll see what happens. Half a second now, and Keynes is under a second to De Munster. So there's a good fight happening here for the podium. Obviously, it won't affect Maiger's silver win, but what it will do is while Gillies is starting to overtake a lot of cars, if Maiger loses these 2 places here, it'll just again close them points. Keynes with the fastest lap in the Ginetta. Well then, now we have a little bit of a difference on our hands. Keynes just starting to get that Ginetta into a good little window possibly. Poppersill is on the back of Clauble. Let's just get at that one a second. Side by side with each other is Poppersill and Gary Clauble in towards turn 1. That big Chevrolet Camaro goes up the inside of Gary Clauble. Has he got the move fully done? No, he hasn't, because Clauble comes back at him at 2. That'll get the inside line. No, it won't, because Clauble had got it done and Poppersill let him go. Didn't want to fight that one too hard, so Clauble hangs on into that position there. What about Kruppeljan and Cummins? Cummins still on the back of him, but not close enough yet. Aberdeen still with Gillies. Gillies has got the gap down from 4.6, I think it was, to 3.3. He can see Cherry Moore and Jamie Lee. Poppersill still on the back there. And out of the front 4, Maiger has just opened that gap up more than half a second to De Munster this lap. Is De Munster just starting to have to defend from Keynes?
Possibly, because he's probably seen that fastest lap pop up for Keynes and think, ooh. There's 6 minutes left of this race. That's about, what, 3 laps? 4 laps?
I'd say so, yeah. So it's only opened up 2 tenths between Maiger and De Munster. Let's go back down to the Clauble-Poppersill fight. Nothing happening there at the moment. Cherry Moore still on the back of Jamie Lee. Just cannot find a way through on Jamie Lee. He was stuck behind Privet for a while, was Cherry Moore. As Bert 600, that's Windspear in the chat. As I think there was contact there. So I believe that must have been on the Gillies, possibly Privet one. So that's the one I looked away on the chat for. So did Gillies just make contact with Privet? Privet on the back of, or trying to get onto the back of Stapley here then for that 15th place and that podium in the bronze category. Kruppeljan in bronze as well. He'd love a podium. Still not coming.
Keynes having a look down the inside in turn 1, and he's got it.
Oh yeah, he's got it. There we go. So Keynes, using the slipstream, I assume, with the Mercedes-Benz later on the brakes, goes up into P3. That'll help Keynes and De Munster gain points over... Keynes and Post gain points over De Munster. And still Maiger unaffected. He's well clear of his closest championship rival, Gillies. Obviously, this being week 3 of 10. No races got cancelled. We just moved them back. That's the bonus of not having the Christmas period come around where we have to start cancelling races for Christmas and New Year. That we could just move them back a week or 2. Now Maiger has that 1 second gap advantage back to him over Keynes. Anderson's got Vasic gaining on him. Clauble has been able to put a bit more daylight between himself and Poppersill. Jamie Lee still has Cherry Moore within 0.3 of a second, and Gillies is only 2 seconds off the back. In fact, there he is. Look at Cherry Moore. Little late dive up the inside, possibly through turn number 5. Can't get it at turn number 6. Can't get it done. Jamie Lee stays in front, and the more that Cherry Moore and Jamie Lee are having this little squabble, this is going to allow Gillies to just close even quicker.
Have you noticed the lights starting to come on the some of the cars? It's getting gloomy.
It is getting darker. Here goes Cherry Moore at the top of the hill, breaks way earlier than Jamie Lee, who goes very wide. Jamie Lee's gone well off the road. That'll give Cherry Moore the position. What about Gillies, who's got such an overspeed compared to Jamie Lee? He's side by side with him on that outside line. If he can hang it around the outside here, Gillies, this will give him that inside line into the Crocodiles. Jamie Lee understeers wide. Gillies still going to think about making the move on the inside line, though. Up he goes in the Ginetta. Side by side on the exit. Gillies has a little slide on exit as well. Has that put him behind Jamie Lee? Is he going to make the move? Yes. No, he's not. It puts him behind Jamie Lee, who bounces off the Crocodile and off the Cheetah and survives. But Gillies, you fancy him to have a look into turn 1 here? Yeah,
of course. Jamie Lee would have muckied his tyres up coming off the road as well.
But it was
So it'll
Gillies
take a
who-
few corners to clean them up.
It will indeed. It was Gillies though, as it goes even darker overhead. Look how dark it's just got coming down that start straight. Is that rain imminent? That'll be tasty for the last lap or two here at Kyalami. And Jamie Lee very wide on the exit of turn 1. That'll give Gillies the outside line for 2, but the inside for 3 and into 4. And Gillies will not need a second invitation. Moves up yet another place all over the curb at turn 4 to get that move done in the Ginetta. And Gillies moves up yet another spot, and he's going to hunt down Cherry Moore, who's second place now in this bronze category. But he's 11.4 off the back of Poppersill. And you imagine even if Gillies gets past Cherry Moore, that'll be the end of Gillies' progression through this race. So it's all down to can Keynes and De Munster get ahead of Miger in this one.
Keynes is within half a second of Miger at the sharp end of the field.
It's going to be interesting to see if he can, because Keynes
Yeah.
seems to...
Oh, that
Keynes
rain's
is-
turned to heavy rain again.
It has. It has. I think we could be in for a shower any time now, really. I
Shower,
really do.
downpour, cloud beams ripped
I
open.
think what that is, though, I think that light shower that we've just seen it say, the light rain it said, is now within that 10-minute window. And in the next 10 minutes from when that changes is where that heavy rain's going to come. So I think we're within getting closer to that lighter rain being here. Whether it comes now or not, we're going to get 2 more laps in as well.
Hey, tomorrow night you could have.
No, tomorrow night looks bone dry. Randomness.
What's up the
randomness
pro?
is- Random. Not even looked yet. Not even looked. Been too busy getting back in the house and everything set up. Fastest lap of the race is a 150.3, so we will get 1 more lap in after this. That could just push into that rain territory. So we could be in for that shower towards the end of this race. As here goes Keynes, just having a look to the outside of turn 4. It'll be the outside again for turn 5. Miger defending very, very hard at the moment. Keynes looking round the outside, can't get the move done, looking for the up and under towards the S's. No, tucks in behind. De Munster's waiting in the wings as well, and I tell you what, if these 3 come together, Wilbrink is not far behind them. And with an extra lap in this race to go, Miger is just starting to struggle, whereas Keynes has got stronger and stronger as the race has gone on.
It's definitely come to the Ginetta as the race.
Yeah, 100%.
Miger's well, Twitch on my screen. It could be latency though from my end.
Let's wait and see what happens, because Keynes now in that slipstream of the Mercedes-Benz with the other
There's got to be one more
Mercedes-Benz
lap.
of De
'Cause
Munster
we're,
behind. Yeah, leaders coming through the crocodile now. He's into the cheetah. Definitely going to be 1 more lap. So does that play into that little light rain shower that there was? Miger off the circuit there. That could have pinged up a track limit warning as well. You've got to be careful on them track limits at Kyalami. You can easily pick up a couple of warnings, which could lead to a drive-through. But Miger got the better drive-through cheetah that has kept him in front. Very wide again. Leader starts the final lap of the race. And it's these 3 for the podium. It's not going to affect Miger's silver win because Vasic is a little further down the road. But these 3 going for the race win, for the podium
Miger
here.
defending.
Defending heavy. De Munster's kept to his normal racing line. Keynes is going to look right around the outside. Can't get it done. Is he going to try and tuck underneath to have that inside line for 3 and 4? Not got the pace and the speed out the corner. Although he's going to make a lunge. Is he looking at 4? No, he's not. The camera angle fooled us all there. Miger's gone very, very wide. Keynes had a little wiggle out the corner. Is this now a chance for De Munster to pounce? It's not, because Keynes is going to try once again around the outside of turn number 5. Can't get it done. De Munster can't stick the nose in. Keynes just needs to get a nose alongside Miger on the outside here. For turn 6. He can't do it once again. And De Munster just waiting and waiting patiently. Keynes is trying everything he can, throwing his whole skill set at it. Jamie Lee's had a moment. Gillies has got
Headlights on,
past Cherry
wipers on.
Moore as well.
Put everything on.
Jamie Lee has stopped at turn 1
Out
then.
of fuel.
Possibly so, I wonder. I wonder if he thought the race wasn't going to go 16 laps. And is this going to be it? We'll get Phil to keep an eye on that while we drop to post in just a moment's time. As
I'm
he's
keeping an eye on
coming
the
towards
battle
the
for a second.
final corner now. Oh, he's coming through the crocodile, sorry. Jamie Lee is just stopped at the exit of turn 1, so everybody there is going to gain an extra couple of places over Jamie Lee. But this man Post put it on pole, was quickest in practice, No clean sweep for him because he's not got the fastest lap of the race, but 7.5 seconds, if not more, by the end. Post is going to come across the line to win here at Kyalami in round number 5. It's rain at the final corner. The light rainers came, and Maiga will win in silver, but will take second place. Cairns hold on to third. De Munster fourth from Wilbrink in fifth. And Gareth Anderson, in the rain, in the final moments of this race, is going to win in bronze and finish P6 on the road. Big points for Maiga and for Anderson in their respected categories. Vasic second in silver. Poppersill got Clawball, who finishes third in silver. Gillies P10. Damage limitations for him in this one after a dreadful lap 2 and 3. Gillies comes home for 10th place. Cherry Moore will be in P11. Aberdeen P12. Cherry Moore second in bronze as well. Popovic 13th. Stapley on his first race this season in the GT4s is going to take podium and third place in the bronze. Privet will take 15th from Alistair Cummins, who did manage to get ahead at some point of Kruppeljan. He finished just ahead of Betterson. Sturrock will come across for P19. And for these drivers, who's coming towards the back end of their lap, it's already greasy. And these drivers have had to do about half a lap in this rain, who's finishing down the order. We've still got Mackenzie out there, and Jamie Lee's still stopped at turn number 1. I assume that is definitely out of fuel. Pete Marsden, P20 with damage. The KTM of Michael Johnson, P21. Mackenzie in that chrome, metallic, whatever you want to call it, lime green Chevrolet Camaro. Yeah, Grello. Yeah, let's go with that one. He'll cross the line for P22. And then just Jamie Lee, who is 100% out, in my opinion, out of fuel. But we'll be right back in just a few moments' time with this second race. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport, and what an opening race to the season, to the return it was. The championship standings look like this. De Munster leads the way, 60 points clear of Post, who moves up to second place. But obviously drop scores will show on the tables. All these results are provisionals before any stewards' inquiries or anything. Van der Ven still in third place with Falcinelli fourth. Cairns up to fifth from Wilbrink, then Gary Leach, McGowan, Popisil, McKenzie, Mezin, and then Rozalski. In silver, Maiger leads the way by over 100 and, well, nearly 150 points. 149 points he leads from Gillies. McMillan in third with Benny Varga fourth. Popovic is fifth after gaining over McMillan and Varga. Vasic up into sixth with Cummins, Jamie Lee, Clarbel, Aberdeen, Marsden, Herendich, Betterson, Sturrock, Johnson, Ramsell, then Millington. And then in bronze, Anderson is your new bronze leader. He leads because of the fastest lap he got from Cherry Moor by 1 point, with Kruppeljan in third, Privet fourth, with Broomdrop into fifth, not scoring points in that race just gone, leaving then Rob Smith seventh from Crack, Winspear, Tipping and Stapley bringing up that last spot. But as we've said, drop scores will take shape this week, so let's see what happens here. As Post said in the chat, he was sweating that the rain didn't drop sooner, and Phil, it dropped right at the very end, and we've started qualifying here on a damp circuit.
Yeah, and you're very quiet for me, Matt, so...
Apologies. I've just moved my mic. I was just moving my mic away, so I don't know if that was the problem there. But hopefully...
And we've got Endozen joined in 666.
Endozen?
Another Chevy.
Oh yeah, Doosan. Yeah, Doosan's joined. Yeah, so he obviously missed race one, but he's back in for race two. But yeah, the qualifying, Phil, started off damp, and it's now gone to greasy. 28 degrees track temperature, as we were saying off air. You alluded to it. Do you wait and try and get a good lap in at the end, because the track will be at its best at the very end of this session?
Yeah, and already I'm starting to see dry patches appearing on screen.
Indeed. Let's go on board with Post. Just
He
coming
returned
down
to the
through
pits
the
and came
mine
back
shaft.
out, so I think...
He's definitely gone on to slicks then.
Yeah, and just hang it out. Fill the car up enough for 10 minutes.
The problem is, what kind of slicks do you go? Do you go slicks for like a greasy tyre pressure that is like a wet pressure on a slick tyre? Or do you go for a slick with your dry pressures, knowing that every lap drivers do in this qualifying session, this track is just going to get it better and better. We're halfway through a 10-minute session, by the way. We've only got 2 lap times on the board. Cairns from Clarbel. So at the moment...
And we've got to be... They can hope everyone invalidates so they can stay there.
So let's see what happens here then. This is Post coming down towards the line. Vasic 11.9 seconds off the pole. Post doesn't even set a lap time at the moment. 4.73. That's Jamie Lee who's about to set one. He comes towards the final corner. But what do you do here, Phil? What kind of tyre pressures do you set for this session? Because this track could go green by the end of the session, and that could be dry tyre pressures.
I would go for just slightly overpressured slicks, or very underpressured wets, and just let them die. Because you're limited on slick tyres, remember?
You are limited on the slick tyres. Who's coming towards the final corner now? The 1, 2, 3 of Cummings. So let's go towards Cummings here then. What a qualifying session this is going to be now for the next 4 minutes, because the track's still showing greasy, as here comes Cummings, 22nd at the moment, doesn't set a valid lap time. We're next looking at, is that the 893, the 863? I can't quite make out that number on my screen. I believe it might even be the 663. It is the 663. So
I need to get a 4K monitor.
It's the KTM of Michael Johnson. So what can Johnson... Coming down, I tell you what, where Johnson is now, that looks bone dry on the racing line. Obviously, the track's going to be greasy because of the entire surface of the circuit. But the racing line looks very... All right, a little damper coming through in towards Crocodile. And a little damp on exit. But again, as you start to get that speed up, looks dry through the Cheetah. Yeah, I think we're in an interesting window here. This is going to be a qualifying session, Phil, like we've seen in the past, where the later you're out there, the better time you're going to set.
Time it so you're the last one on out to get the last lap.
Johnson comes like Johnson goes up to 7th in his KTM. Quickly down to 8 as Vasic has just taken pole position. Let's find the 33 of Maiga coming towards the line on a valid lap. You're just going to see that, look at that, Wilbrink's gone pole. Post has gone up to 2nd, Falcinelli's 3rd. And Wilbrink's pole time is 0.6 of a second quicker than Post's. You know, we're 2 seconds off the fastest lap. The fastest lap of the race, because Keynes was in the 150s in the race. All right, these are lower fuels. Maiga, there you go, look straight up into 2nd, so the track is getting quicker. Gillies goes up into 3rd place. So the track is getting better, Phil, with every single lap at the moment. What can Privet do? He's just crossed the line up into 10th. 95 of Anderson. 2.3 off the pole. Great pace in the first race. Straight up to 3rd within half a second. Track is improving.
Yeah, and every second now this track's going to dry.
Vital.
In reality, if it's real, you see the steam coming off the circuit, wouldn't you? With 28 degrees C.
It's vital.
You would visually see it drying.
Vital for these drivers to get out there. Who's that just gone up the order? That was one of the Chevrolets. We've just gone aboard him. It was Mackenzie who's just gone within half a second of Wilbrink. Now the 340's coming back to the line. Who's the 340? That is Poppersill. We have lost a driver. Doosan is in, and we have lost another driver. Poppersill has just done a lap time, and that's put Poppersill onto pole by 22 thousandths of a second. So there we go. Track is getting better. Can't think of who we have lost. We'll find out come the end of the night. But here comes Michael Johnson, 2.6 seconds off the pole time. I've not seen... Oh, no, Broom is there. Broom's 14th. Cherry Moore, I've not seen... No, Cherry Moore's 11th. What can Michael Johnson do? 2.6 off the best time at the moment. 1 minute 52 left. He'll get 1, possibly 2 laps in.
11th.
And he goes all the way up into P11. As Phil's just said, the 117's coming to the line. Or is it the 317? Sorry, a Falcinelli. And he goes up into P3, the 229. Who's the 229? That is Keynes, down in 14th place, 2 seconds off of pole. Goes up to pole position by 0.07 of a second. So the track is getting better. The drivers need to be out there at the right time, and this is the time. It might not quite go to dry. It's just gone up to 29 degrees track temp, so it's got a little bit warmer. It may not go to fully dry, but this is the time. De Munster goes into 3rd. You need to finish this last lap, because this is where it's going to be do or die.
You need to keep going, don't you? Just keep going.
Anderson moves up to 7th, 0.6 off the pole. I can't tell what number of cars we've got coming through the final corner, because there is a great big gaggle of them. Popovic is 1.6 off the pole, and only goes up to 1.4, so only finds 0.2 of a second. The 340
is the next car.
Is next. That is Poppersill on his debut at SimPlay Motorsport, looking to find half a second, and he'll still get one more run, and the track has just gone to fast, Phil. So it is now classed as dry circuit, no longer greasy, so the lap times will still improve as it moves towards optimum. Here comes Poppersill, doesn't find a lot, but has 1 lap left. If he's got the fuel to do it, he can. Mackenzie as well will get another lap time on the board.
Yep, the 26 crosses the line.
No improvement. 78, that's Wilbrink. I don't know who's just in front of Wilbrink. It is Post. So Post and Wilbrink coming together here. They aren't going to get a lap time in. So this is their final run with Michael Johnson just behind, who's invalidated. Can Wilbrink take pole? Post does. Wilbrink doesn't. Where's Keynes on circuit? Keynes is in the pits. De Munster's still out there. Falcinelli to the line. Needs to find a second. Doesn't. Next up is the 33. That is Maiga, who's down in 10th. Second in, got silver at the moment. Third in silver at the moment. Behind Clarbel and Vasic, who is done. So Maiga needs half a second to take that pole position in silver.
He does.
And takes pole position overall. What about Gillies now? Gillies moves up to 4th. The 63's coming to the line. That is Privet. This could be for bronze pole. Needs 1.5 seconds. Doesn't find it, but moves up to 17th place. The 888 of Neil Broom needs to get within 7/10 of pole, because Anderson is 7th overall. Moves up to 11th, but it's not enough. Someone else is coming to the line. I missed who that one was. It may have been... No, it can't be.
1, 2, 3. And now it's the 45.
Right, so keep your eyes on anybody else moving up the order, because I can't see anybody there. Just Poppersill we are seeing. And then
now comes
the 26 of Mackenzie. So here comes Poppersill. The 340 of Poppersilt towards the line. 1.1 off the pole. Where is this going to put him? Well, it goes up to P5. What about Mackenzie? 14th overall. Look how close them top 5 are. 0.2 of a second. What has Mackenzie found in the locker? Has he found anything? As he now comes towards the line. Can he improve? He takes pole!
Yes, he's a pole!
By half a second nearly at the very end. Well, Maiga still gets the point for silver pole, but Mackenzie takes pole on and that is why you have to be the last man out there. Absolutely incredible.
Do we like that chat? I think that deserves a like.
And this is Mackenzie's first race of the season.
Look how dry it is.
And now it's bone dry, sun's out, 32 degrees, not a rain cloud in sight, but remember it said that on the formation lap last time.
Yep, it might change as soon as they start the formation lap.
What a qualifying that was.
Be the last across the line again. You've got the best conditions in them conditions. Watching many years of motor racing's taught me that.
So it is Mackenzie on pole from Maiga, Post and Wilbrink on the second row, De Munster from Poppersill, Gillies is alongside Keynes, Anderson your bronze pole alongside Falcinelli from Vasic and Broom, Clawbell is alongside Cherrymore with Aberdeen and Popovic, Privet and Stapley, Kruppeljan and Johnson, Cummins from Betterson, Jamie Lee from Pete Marsden, and Doosan at the back of the pack. Who was the driver that we'd lost from that qualifying session? Sturrock. Sturrock's name isn't there, so we've not got Sturrock for this second race of the day, sadly, because he thought he did all right in his Alpine. But Phil, who are you going for the race win?
Probably Post, because yeah, the McLaren looks very strong here, especially with it being this dry. I'm just sort of like checking to see if there's anything been said in Discord.
10 seconds.
No. Nothing from Stuart in Discord. Okay. Maybe it's internet. But that's a pole for a Chevy. From Maiga. P2 again.
So who was that on pole? Was it Jamie Kent?
Yep. Von Maiga.
Pole?
Yep, Maiga with the silver pole.
No, that one doesn't count towards the car statistics. So look just their statistics. That is Chevrolet's 10th pole position, ties them with Ford Mustang now. So there you go.
Oh, Ford. We may have got another Ford in the game. But I doubt it now. And especially if LMU comes out on console. But glorious sunshine here in South Africa. For race 2, which should be on the Sunday, because race 1 would have been on the Saturday.
Yep. Right, so
I remember.
Page is updated. Right, that
Everyone-
poll in the chat. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And don't forget to check out our fantastic sponsor of Design Manchester in the description below. Producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Head over to their Facebook page, Designed Manchester. Then you're going Post. Yeah, I think it's hard to look past Post in this race. That McLaren and Post as the driver looked particularly strong in that first race. It is hard to see how he won't win this second race, to be fair.
Cairns has a lot of work to do for mate.
Loads of work. But this is where Post, starting third, if he doesn't get a great start or gets a little boxed in and gets overtaken, loses a place or two at the start,
Well, the turn 1 carnage happens. Because it's race 2,
Let's be honest, in race 1 he started out front on his own. Maiga's in a strong position for a good set of results today.
Yep. As they should now be going 2x2 for the rolling start. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4.
Yeah, brilliant. Chevrolet, Mercedes, McLaren, Aston Martin.
Though the engine in that Aston Martin's the same as that Mercedes. It's not the V12.
2 Ginettas inside the top 10. The BMW just scrapes into the top 10 as well. So, yeah, interesting to see. And what are we going to see in this race? Because that rain shower cloud hasn't come onto the screen, but it didn't come on until lap 1 had started. So are we going to be in something similar to race 1 where it may appear as lap 1 starts and we may get a bit of rain at the end? It came too late in race 1, so I'd have loved that rain shower cloud to have appeared by now. But
yeah, halfway through the race would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't look like we're going to get that. But what it does look like, we're going to get race number 6 of the season underway in just a few moments' time. We are green and go here at Kyalami for round 6 of the season. And what a start it has been for that off Mackenzie. Yeah, Post is attacking Maiga down on that inside line into turn 1. Mackenzie gets a great start. That is Falcinelli out on the grass a little bit there. And there's a spinner in the background. I believe that was Anderson who's gone around. It is indeed. And he's fully backwards, facing the wrong way. And a few more dramas. That was Jamie Lee and Cummins, I believe, in that one. Cummins is the wrong way. Privet the wrong way. Jamie Lee also the wrong way. But for Anderson, what was your bronze leader? I believe it's now Neil Broom who is your bronze leader. There's a slow Chevrolet as well in the background, a blue one, of what could have been Poppersill. But a great start for Mackenzie. He's got away well and he leads coming through turn 5 from that of Post. Maiga down to 3rd now. From De Munster, then Wilbrink, Gillies. Where did Cairns drop to? Cairns must have been involved in some dramas because he's dropped right down the order.
Yeah, I think he had a little hip check with Gillies into turn 1.
Cherry Moore was all sideways coming through the S's there with Cairns just behind him, Stapley, and that of what looked to be the other Chevrolet of Kruppeljan, who has got ahead of Stapley. So has Cairns. Broom is your bronze leader, and Cherry Moore looking up the inside of that isn't Popovic, I believe that's Vasic. He's looking up the inside of. Indeed, it is Vasic. Cherry Moore looking to try and get past Vasic here. Further down, though,
leading.
We've got a couple of Chevrolets going at it. That is Dewson from the back of the grid, trying to get around the outside of that of Stapley. Post now leads this race, so it's not taking him any time at all to get in the lead.
In the Crocodile.
Here comes Poppersill as well to try and have a look at Dewson. And backs out of that one in towards the Crocodile. There you go. So Post leads from Mackenzie. And can Mackenzie fight back down in towards turn number 1? Let's wait and see, because he's got a good slipstream from that McLaren. And that Chevrolet has got a good set of brakes on it compared to the McLaren in front of him. But he just stays patiently in a queue. So it's Post, Mackenzie, Maiga, De Munster, Wilbrink, Gillies, who had the lap 2 dramas last time out. He'll be open for a clean lap 2 now. Falcinelli P7 from Clauble. Then it's Broom, your bronze leader. Gillies second. Clauble on the podium again in the silver category. Aberdeen from Popovic. Cherry Moore second in bronze, trying to get on the back of them with Vasic. Kruppeljan is 3rd in bronze. He's got Cairns behind him, who was fastest lap in the first race. The rain clouds have stayed away on the weather report at the moment.
Apparently Com's a little bit ahead again because of Discord.
I don't think there's anything we can do about that one, sadly. I will double check that everything is live and accurate, and it isn't live, so there we go. Hopefully that has then just fixed that one. So I'm not sure why that's done that, but hopefully that'll be fixed for you there, Winspear. And who's this going side by side in the background? That looked like Stapley. Look at this gaggle of cars. Stapley, Betterson, Anderson, Poppersill, with I believe, no, not Kruppeljan as well. There's the KTM involved further back here of Michael Johnson looking to make moves over that of Poppersill at the moment. Pete Marston's involved in that one as well. So a lot of dramas from cars up here. Betterson's looking up the inside of that of Dewson. A little bit of contact from the two of them. They managed to all get away unscathed there. Still that KTM fighting with Poppersill and Pete Marsden. Jamie Lee's not far in the background. Now the KTM's looking to try and tuck underneath Dewson and Betterson here. Down through the mine shaft. There you go. These 5 are all going at it. And look at Michael Johnson late on the brakes up the inside. Gets a tap from Pete Marsden. And then gets another tap from Poppersill. And Johnson stationary in the middle of the road. Privet will get a couple of places there as well. And it all come to dramas as Mackenzie sticking with Post, who has set the fastest lap of the race. And Gillies on the back of Wilbrink, trying to have a look at him. Pulls out now, up the inside into turn 1. Thinks better of it.
Yeah, and Mackenzie's keeping the post. It's in for the race lead. I'm keeping an eye on the race lead. There's still a freeway.
So what a start to this race here, though.
This one is not more chaotic. This race too, wasn't it? So
Last race of the day. They've got nothing to play for, as is Aberdeen, who was backwards from 10th place at turn 1. And off the road, he is Falcinelli, still trying to stick with Gillies, who's on the back of Wilbrink. They're losing out to De Munster and Maiger. Mackenzie sticking with Post brilliantly at the moment, to be fair to him. Post was pretty dominant in race 1. Here comes Poppersill, having a look up the inside of Doosan and that of Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee's looking right around the outside of Doosan at the moment, and he's trying to get that move done with a nose up the inside at turn 5. Can't do it though. He's not close enough. He was nearly close enough to push him off the circuit. Did he just tap Doosan a little wide there? Jamie Lee now up the inside he goes. Oh, and a return tap from Doosan into Poppersill. Lee's off. Doosan's backwards into Lee. Poppersill's off the road as well. Privet, Marsden, Cummins, even Johnson and maybe Aberdeen should pick up a couple of places here. Doosan still not recovered. Jamie Lee just has. And Poppersill returns to the track as well. But drama's in race 2 at Kyalami.
it's all that quite clean race 1. Yeah,
Gone.
stewards are busy.
Out the window. Let's see what happens here. Post still has got Mackenzie right up his rear wing. This is where the McLaren will be stronger than the Chevrolet. It's obviously worse on the brakes than the Chevrolet. And that's where Mackenzie's been able to stick with him here, because he's not under pressure from Maiger. But Maiger has just set the fastest lap of the race. And Mackenzie just under braking, stays closer. Maiger very, very deep there. Does that allow De Munster? No, it does not. To have a look. Gillies still attacking the back of Wilbrink with Falcinelli. Broom still leads, and he's inside 9th place now in that Aston Martin. Keynes is on the back. In fact, no, he's not. He's tried to look up the inside of Popovic, who covers that off. Bounces over the sausage curb at turn 3. And is that now Keynes through? No, it isn't. Jamie Lee into the pit lane, so he will be down to dead last. The 473 has just come in. And in fact, who else is that? I believe that's Aberdeen into the pits as well.
Yeah.
And now... now that is Popovic defending the inside line from Keynes, who's trying to go right around the outside of turn 4. He does that, and Cherry Moore might follow him through for turn 5. Popovic loses 2 places in 2 corners, and Cherry Moore gets through. What an opportunistic move that was from the Chevrolet driver.
You've got to take them when you can. And meanwhile, Mackenzie sticking with Post. They're dropping Maiger.
Yeah, they are starting to, and Cherry and Vasic is now having a look on the back of Popovic, and they've got that of Krupeljan, 3rd place in bronze, as here comes Vasic to the outside line of Popovic, down towards the top of the hill hairpin. Krupeljan may fancy a run here. There was a bit of contact between the two. Anderson, who was your bronze leader, he's been the quickest bronze driver so far today. He'll want to come back at these two. Krupeljan now gets through, and this puts Vasic on the back. Krupeljan, late lunge at the crocodile. Up the inside of Popovic he goes, gets past Popovic, and Popovic still fighting with Vasic and Anderson in the background. Anderson's gone side by side with Vasic, through the cheetah, round the outside. They don't make contact, they stick together. Anderson's going to have the inside line, through the final corner, position gained. What a bit of racing from the 4 of them.
That's fantastic through the cheetah, wasn't it? And we know what that curb can do.
Absolutely brilliant there from all 4 drivers. Great respect, great overtaking, great defending from all of them. As now Anderson looks on Popovic into turn 1. Popovic a little deep. Does that give Anderson the outside for 2 with a chance of sticking a nose up? No, because he's now defending that inside of 3 from Vasic behind. Gareth Anderson getting a move on with this. Mackenzie's just dropped out that side, that second zone to Post, with Maiger now on the back of him, with De Munster. Gilly still stuck to the back of Wilbrink with Falcinelli. Cherry Moore has been passed by Keynes, so Keynes trying to come through now on Neil Broom. And then that'll put Broom versus Cherry Moore for the lead of bronze.
Maiger currently with the fastest lap of the race as well, after lap 4.
Jamie Lee and Aberdeen out the pit lane as well. Krupeljan's pulled away from these 3 Mercedes-Benz here. Vasic with a bit of damage all over that car. And Anderson looking to try and get through. He knows at the moment that he's only got a 2-point lead over Cherry Moore if he's listening to the stream. And he'll lose more than 2 points for these cars in front of him. So Anderson, after being spun around at turn 1, Phil, will want to get on with this.
Yep. half an hour race isn't very long, really. Especially when there's no pit stops.
Yeah, and especially when it's 2 minutes a lap. It's a 16 lap race. The first one was. So we'll see what happens here.
Defending hard as Popovich.
He is indeed. Anderson, I thought, was going to try around the outside. Looks for the up and under now on the exit of Cheetah. Is Vasic going to attack the rear of Anderson? No, because Anderson's still looking around the outside of Popovich. That may have just opened the door for Vasic to come through. And Vasic doesn't get through. This is allowing Betterson to get onto them. Look at the defending going on here from Popovich. Defending that inside line early doors. And he does not want to give up this place. Popovich trying to fend off that of Anderson at the moment into turn number 1. Anderson round the outside. Bit of contact between the two. This could invite Vasic, and it does. They're nearly 3 wide. Vasic and Popovich make contact. Vasic bouncing over the grass. Back onto the road he comes. Anderson gets through. Vasic dives on Betterson in towards turn 4. And Betterson will get through as well on that one. So Vasic loses 1 place. After all of that, but nearly gained 2.
A reminder, Betterson is a silver driver.
Yes. Please be reminded of that. Betterson is a silver driver. Michael. Mackenzie now.
On Thursday.
Oh, well, I'll give him a stick tonight. Mackenzie's now 1.3 off the back of post. Maiga, though, is coming under more pressure behind from De Munster.
Cameraman, find the cars.
Just want to close the gap here to post because he lost a lot of points to post in race 1. So you'll want to close that gap. Gillies has dropped off the back of Wilbrink. Falcinelli has stayed with Gillies in this one. Clauble has got Cairns on the back of him. No, he hasn't. He's got Cairns up the inside of him. And through goes Cairns at Crocodile. Cherry Moore is gaining on the lead of Bronze to that of Neil Broom. And this is exactly what Anderson doesn't want. Yes, Anderson's just gained a place, but if Cherry Moore takes the lead of Bronze here, it's a couple more points, especially for being inside that top 10. It's a couple more points here for Cherry Moore, but he's got to get past him first. We saw Cherry Moore in race 1 just struggle to pass Privet, struggled to get past Jamie Lee. Now he's got to try and get past Neil Broom. What can he do? What's De Munster doing? Vasic into the pits. That must be for the damage he's sustained, as De Munster is really underneath that rear wing of the Mercedes-Benz of Maiga.
Yeah, he was alongside going into turn 1, but Micah braked a little bit breaker later. Bill, make your words up. Oh, the monster wide.
Yeah, a little wide there. Falcinelli's gaining on the Ginetta of Gillies then. Broom, he's not a million miles away from Clauble, but he's got Cherry Moore gaining on him. Further down the order, we've got a battle between Johnson and Poppersill and that is Cummins. So Johnson's just got ahead of Cummins. That's Jamie Lee in the background. Where is Doosan in all this? He's 14 seconds behind this. So Cummins must have... sorry, that's Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee's a lap down there. Apologies. And they have just, I think, got onto the same lap as Vasic as Jamie Lee and Aberdeen. So they should be able to come out the pits and be resuming that fight. But Johnson now up into 19th. Privet trying to gain on Stapley. Cherry Moore having a look on the exit of the hairpin at the top of the hill on the Aston Martin of Broom. Tucks back in behind though, can't get it done there.
But they may be a lap behind or more, but they haven't given up.
Yeah, points mean prizes, and while other drivers drop out or retire, that's just going to help them out gain a few more points. Obviously no Sturrock at the start of this race.
That's one less Alpine for the points table.
Yeah. And Cherry Moore now then, just putting Broom under a bit more pressure for the lead in Bronze. As the drivers come through the final corner, Cherry Moore just tries to get a better exit than the Aston Martin, but he can't there. Maiga 7/10 off the back of Mackenzie. De Munster still tucked up underneath him. Can Cherry Moore right underneath, pulls to the inside line now in towards turn 1. There you go. Is this Cherry Moore's option, should I say, to get the move done into turn 1? Yes, it is. Has he got it done though fully? Because Broom fights it hard around the outside line to give him the inside for turn 2. There is Broom now on the outside of 3 and 4. Will Broom think of the up and under on Cherry Moore? Cherry Moore goes a little wide on exit there, but Broom was too cautious through turn 4. May have the run on Cherry Moore, but it'll be on the outside line. And Cherry Moore stays ahead and fights that one off very well. Kruppeljan and Anderson. This is 4 bronze drivers within 2 seconds of each other, fighting hard in this race. Duffin now into the pit. So Vasic has come out of the pit lane. He's ahead of Jamie Lee, who's unlapped himself from Cummins in this race. Aberdeen is saying he's 2 laps down, whereas Jamie Lee and Vasic and Duffin are only the 1 lap down. So they could get ahead of Duffin here. Look at this fight between Johnson and Poppersill for 19th and 20th place. The Mercedes at the back of this queue is that car that's a lap down of Jamie Lee.
Oh.
As here comes Poppersill to have a look on Johnson. Can't get it done through the S's. That Chevrolet just a bit stronger than the KTM through here. It'll be interesting to see to go to New York. New York's had bad snow recently, so Watkins Glen next week could be absolutely interesting as Poppersill and Johnson just make
cold,
a little bit of contact there. That allows Cummins back through on Poppersill, and Jamie Lee unlaps himself from the Chevrolet. Now we'll try and unlap himself from the KTM, but can't at the moment. Halfway through this race, where has this race gone already? Anderson has got past Kruppeljan then. So there's 1 car between himself and Cherry Moore. That could put them tied on points. Cairns has now set the fastest lap, but is 6 seconds off the back of Falcinelli. Maiga's 1.1 behind McKenzie, and De Munster still under the rear wing of him.
Yeah, so you keep having a look, but when the car in front is pretty much the same as yours, you know its strengths and weaknesses.
You do indeed. Cairns with a 1 minute 50.085 post best lap is actually the 4th fastest lap of the race. So McKenzie and Maiga and Cairns have all gone quicker than him. Let's go back down to that Anderson Kruppeljan fight. Nothing really happening there. What about Popovic and Betterson? That's 7/10. Privet's within half a second of Stapley. And is that Broom? Has Broom had a moment there? No, it isn't Broom. So I'm not sure the other blue Aston
Maiga's
Martin's
wide.
Pete Maiga's wide.
Through the hairpin, but he's going to be in the inside for the Crocodile. They're still side by side.
So through the mineshaft, there you go. De Munster in the white on the inside line. The black and grey of Maiga on the inside line now of Crocodile. Is this going to be side by side through into the Cheetah? No, because Maiga just seemed to put his foot down mid-corner there and get out the corner. So much better than De Munster. Gillies is coming under pressure from Falcinelli as well. What's happening down in the Johnson fight? He's lost out to Poppersill and to Cummins. So Johnson's down to 21st. Jamie Lee's unlapped himself from both of them. Duffin still in the pits. Aberdeen may get past Duffin now. So great scraps throughout this entire circuit at the moment. Cherry Moore's trying to put down Clawble. Falcinelli within 2/10 of Gillies. Gillies goes defensive, really goes defensive. Falcinelli's pretty much on the grass on the inside into turn 1. Falcinelli later on the brakes up the inside. Gillies then gets up back underneath of him though. So Gillies coming back at him, and we'll have that inside line for 3 and 4. Through 3 they go, into 4 now. Falcinelli's got to try and keep it strong. Gillies on that inside line. Great respect shown from the pair of them. There you can see Wilbrink's now gaining on the back of De Munster. And Falcinelli's still on that inside line into turn 4. The BMW just with a better straight line speed. Can Gillies hold it around the outside and keep it there for turn 5? I think he may have just done that, you know. Gets the nose up the inside of Falcinelli, and back up the inside goes Gillies once again. Falcinelli just sat, can't do anything. They're still side by side into the S as they drop now. Falcinelli, does he have that nose there for the next corner? Not just. And Gillies can close the door, but what a bit of racing again from the two of them.
Lovely side by side for half a lap.
Beautiful.
And Falcinelli's looking around the outside in the hairpin.
Yeah, the top of the circuit here. Falcinelli once again tries to use that BMW power to come down the hill of the mineshaft, and he will have that inside line for Crocodile after this left-hand bend, but he doesn't need it. His BMW is bouncing all over the place on the rear end. Gillies is going to come back up the inside. So as Falcinelli gets through, he goes a little wide to give Gillies the room. And is this now side by side for Cheetah? Gillies doesn't look like he's fully in front yet. Through the Cheetah they go. Gillies carries a little more momentum. Falcinelli bounces off the curb, and Gillies gets the place back. Cairns is gaining in the background, but what a race for these two. What a lap they have put on. 11.5 minutes to go.
It was absolute. Oh, it's not over. Falcinelli, he's having another look coming into turn 1.
Yeah, he's going to go to the outside as we say good evening to Chris in the chat. To the outside goes Falcinelli. Tries to chop the nose of Gillies off. And Gillies is straight off and hard into the wall on the rear quarter. Little naughty in my opinion from Falcinelli.
That was moving under braking. That was definitely moving under braking. But I'm not a steward anymore, so...
Gillies could not stop the car. And he's going to tumble down several places here. He's still not moving. That'll be some real big damage on the rear of that car. Clawball is through. Cherry Moore, Broom, Anderson, Kruppeljan, Popovic. Popovic hasn't got through. He's fighting off with Betterson at the moment. Bounces off the curb, gets in a slide. And Betterson, with his eyes lit up a little bit there. What a race this is. What a race too this is.
I bet you something else lit up.
So good evening to Chris in the chat. But what a drama. As Miga has lost 2.3 seconds to Mackenzie.
And the Monster's still... He's defending from the Monster, but the Monster can't get past him.
I don't think the Monster's getting great runs through the corners, Phil. Look at this through Crocodile. Miga seems to have Crocodile a lot better than the Monster. Now, that gap opens up more than 0.2 of a second, but he has to left off for going off the circuit. Wilbrick's only 1.8 behind. And Keynes is now 0.7 off the back of Falcinelli. So Keynes could move into that top 6. As Winspear says in the chat, got to feel sorry for Gillies. Indeed you have. And De Munster still just cannot get close enough. He can't have a look because he's not close enough. I say that. He's having a look now, Phil.
He's just got to brake a little bit later just to slip past Miga. Does he do it into turn 1? I'm on helicopter cam so I can see everything.
I think he has got in front, but Miga's still fighting this one strong. Runs a little wide out of turn 1. He'll have the inside for 2, but this gives the inside back to De Munster for 3 and for 4. So that might be Miga's fight for, you know, but I say that he's holding it strong around the outside, and he's got nearly near enough in front round the outside as Miga there, and Miga will have that inside line for turn 4. Wilbrick's coming into play now, and Miga back in front of De Munster once again.
If this was a longer race, you'd think, I'll let the faster car through, but I'm holding him up now. And I could step behind him and let him pull me towards the next one.
The bonus for Miga is Gillies has now just tumbled down to 13th without incident. So his closest championship rival is down in 13th. He doesn't want to lose any points. He wants to have as many points to play with at his disposal as possible. And yes, Chris, we're all good. We all less stress. We moved back home yesterday. We stayed at her friend's for the week. Just an absolute nightmare with the power going. We don't know what happened. We've had a full rewire and we're back in. Cherrymore is on the back of Clawball. He needs this. He wants 2 cars between himself and Anderson because Anderson's gaining on Broom as Cherrymore looks to the outside of Gary Clawball at the top of the hill and can't get that one done around the outside. Going to drop down as well towards that then of Popovic, who's gaining on Gillies. Gillies obviously with damage. He's taking Betterson. We've got Marsden having a fight with Stapley here and Privet just up the road. Stapley's looking to his outside of Pete Marsden then. Can't do nothing there. Cummins, Poppersill and Johnson having a great scrap as well. Aberdeen still down in 25th but still going in this race at the moment. What is happening with De Munster? Wilbrick's come to play as De Munster's looking up the inside of Miga in towards turn number 1. He tried it a lap ago. Has he got it done this time around? He has indeed, because Miga's not got alongside him, or he has though, and he'll have that inside line for 3 and 4. Will he? No, he won't. De Munster's done enough to cover Miga off, and De Munster is now ahead of Miga. Wilbrick's come to play as well, but now De Munster sits on the overall podium. And what a race this is.
Meanwhile, I was keeping an eye on Falcinelli and Keynes, because Keynes is on Falcinelli.
Yeah, that's half a second. We've got Cherrymore on Clawball. Anderson has just got past Neil Broom there then. So Anderson moves up yet another spot for the Mercedes-Benz. So it's now the car ahead for position is Cherrymore. Unless Cherrymore can hold it around the outside of Anderson at turn number 5. He's going to try and keep that nose in there for turn number 6. He has just got that big bulky Chevrolet there. Brakes too early and lets Clawball have the corner though. Miga still fighting De Munster with Wilbrink. Falcinelli fending off Keynes at the moment. Cherrymore has now got Anderson right with him. And the top 3 in bronze, Cherrymore, Anderson and Broom, are all together with Clawball, who is 2nd place in silver at the moment.
Solid night by Clawball at the moment. And so
oh, fantastic
solid.
Night. Fantastic night.
Now, Wilbrink to get in front of Miga.
That's going to be
6
the
minutes
biggest
to
question.
go.
That's
I
what
think Miga's starting to struggle on
he
tyres.
did struggle, don't forget, in race 1, and it was only for Kane, that, you know, whatever happened at the end of the race where Keynes just couldn't get past him. And Anderson's looking racy on Cherry Moore, who has a bit of a wiggle out the exit of the Crocodiles. Anderson! Oh, Anderson and Cherry Moore make contact! Cherry Moore's in the wall! And Anderson must have got damage for that. Cherry Moore, though, into the wall and on the gravel at the exit of the Cheetah. And Anderson now leads in bronze from Neil Broom with Kruppeljan up into third. Gillies gets past Cherry Moore. That's an extra place for him. So Miga loses a place. Gillies gains one. How Gillies is still going with how hard he hit the wall on that rear quarter, I do not know.
I just watched it on stream. Wow. I just saw it on the stream on my laptop.
Gillies will be hoping that Wilbrink can get past Miga here just for an extra couple of points. But what a race we are seeing in this one. Absolutely fantastic. Bettison's in the pits.
Yeah, Wilbrink is looking great. Oh, Miga's wide on the curve.
Yeah, just starting to struggle, isn't he, Miga? It was this stage of the race where he struggled last time as well. Wilbrink just can't capitalise through there. Keynes has dropped back a little bit to Falcinelli. Anderson has got a second over Neil Broom in this race at the moment. Kruppeljan now up onto the podium in bronze. Cherry Moore trying to fight with Gillies. What a shame.
Damaged car, though.
Yeah. Pete Marsden, he's trying to fight with Privet and Stapley. Cummins is trying to gain on the back of Michael Johnson. Poppersill has pulled away. These two have moved up an extra place because of Bettison being in the pits. And I think Bettison's about to lose out to Vasic here. Oh, still 4 minutes left of this race.
Yeah.
What a race this has been. Jamie Lee might try and get ahead of Richard Bettison. No, Bettison's out the pits, so Jamie Lee will not get ahead of him there. Anderson gaining on the back of Clarbel. Wilbrink still there on the back of Miga. And is Bettison in the background exiting the pit lane.
Post hasn't disappeared off in the distance as quick in this race as he did in race 1.
Mackenzie's not under pressure, has he? Miga was under pressure from De Munster and Keynes for a lot of that race. And I think that's what allowed, you know, Keynes to pull away.
De Munster is slowly winding in. That car between them, though.
Yeah. Here goes Anderson to the outside of Gary Clarbel. Tries around the outside now. Does Gareth Anderson. He's going to look on the inside of turn 2. And Clarbel will just let that one go at this moment. Right, let's go back to that Wilbrink-Miga fight. Keep our eyes on this. I'm going to type up the driver of the day poll.
Yeah, well, Wilbrink don't look like he's made a move on Miga yet. He might be waiting until the last possible minute. But he's sitting there about 4/10 off. It's a lot closer into the hairpin though, because elastic band syndrome. But he's got a better, tighter line coming out of a hairpin arm on helicopter cam than Miga. I think Miga's tyres have gone off a little bit.
Well, I've just put Miga, Clarbel and Anderson for driver of the day, or if you want the fourth option of other, please do comment who you have picked if you've picked other.
I know what I went
second
through.
and a fourth. I think that's a good night for him. Clarbel 2 second places in silver. Great night for him. Sorry, 2 podiums, because I think Cherry Moore was second in not Cherry Moore. Yeah, no, I think he was 2 second places in category. And Anderson, 2 top 10s for the bronze driver. I think it's been a cracking night for him at the moment as well. He's got past Clarbel as well, so he's also up into P8 now. He's Anderson as Wilbrink now still attacking. In fact, let's go back to Falcinelli. He's lost out to Keynes. It was 0.08 of a second. He's lost out some 1.2 now to Keynes. So Keynes has made the move on Falcinelli. And Keynes moves up to 6th place, but he's 10 seconds off the back of Wilbrink with probably 2 laps to go. This and 1 more.
Yeah, unless you find 6 seconds a lap faster.
Cherry Moore on the back of Gillies, both with damaged cars. Popovic 2 seconds behind. Marsden trying to close on Privet. That's 1.8. Stapley's 9/10 behind. We've got Cummins, who is trying to get all over the back of Michael Johnson at the moment. And Andy Aberdeen trying to unlap himself from Cummins. But it's that fight for P4 that is the one to keep our eyes on. Miga just... his car has just dropped off in the second half of these races.
Yeah, it's just hit a wall, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not literally.
Indeed it has. As we've got 1 minute left on the clock. The leader's coming down mineshaft now. So we will
It's like it's
just
set up for the qualifying, not for the race.
Yeah, I think that. I think it's as if the tyres have just died.
It's set up to hot lap, not race. I think.
I
don't
suppose
know.
the bonus
I
for
don't know.
Miga is, you know, yes, he could drop points if he loses places, but it's not like his championship rivals are gaining the points in silver. He's only losing out to the gold drivers, which, you know, the points go for overall. If you are new to SimPlay Motorsport, the points are for overall as leader starts the final lap of the race. But, you know, it's not the silver drivers taking points away from Miga. Yes, he won't outscore them by as much, but, you know, he'll still outscore them. And that's the big thing here for Miga today, is that he doesn't defend the inside. Wilbrink did have a look, but no can do there. Anderson has still got Clawbell within 0.8 of a second. Further down, we've got Cherry Moore with just under a second to Gillies. But both driving a very, very wounded car. Michael Johnson.
Wilbrick's alongside Miga into turn 3, but Miga heavy inside into turn 4.
Yeah, Miga defends that one. Wilbrink already comes in behind. He knows he's not got the power of the Mercedes to get past at the moment, so the Aston Martin tucks back in. Thinks better of it. Great job from Mackenzie in this
the sunset. Oh, but is that one barbecue? I can't remember.
I can't remember, and I've not loaded them up either to find out tonight.
We only know Crocodile Cheetah in the final quarter, really, don't
I'm
we?
sure the hairpin at the top that they're coming up to now is called Ingui, but don't hold me to that. I've not got the track map loaded at the moment, so I'll make sure everything's been running before loading everything up. What a drive this could be. We'll go to the race leader. Phil, you keep your eyes on that little scrap, because Post is going to come through for yet another race win in this one, and he's going to close the gap to De Munster, and De Munster with a car between himself and that of Miga then. De Munster looks set to take P3, but Post looks set to win once again here. Mackenzie with such a strong second place as well. Post rounds the final corner. He's going to come home and take the race win. Post wins round number 6 with Mackenzie taking second place. Third will go the way of De Munster. Miga will win in silver and hold on for P4. Wilbrink 5th. Cairns will take 6th place with the fastest lap once again for Cairns in this one. Falcinelli is going to be P number 7. With Anderson about to come across the line for your bronze race win, and a good race win for him indeed.
Clawbell 9th, 2nd in silver.
Yeah, Clawbell's done a good job. Anderson wins in bronze. Clawbell 2nd place in silver, 9th overall. Broom will take 2nd place in bronze. Kruppeljan finishes the podium. Gillies hangs on in there for a podium in that silver class. Good stuff for Gillies in this one. Cherry Moore from Popovic in 14th place. Privet 15th. Marsden 16th from Stapley. Michael Johnson is fending off Cummins for that 18th and 19th spot as we'll await for Poppersill towards the end of this lap. That's Andy Aberdeen, who's a lap down in 25th. Johnson 18th, Cummins 19th, as we just await for Poppersill. Was Vasic racing in this one? He was 21st. Cummins was 19th. Jamie Lee was down in 23rd. Clawbell, what a job, P9 for him, good race for him. Andy Aberdeen was down in 25th. Pete Marsden was 16th. I do believe drivers have started to leave, so I'll wait through that one at the end. Poppersill, though, will come across the line for that 19th spot. Phil, give us your drivers of the day, and give us a driver of the day from each category, and then just sum up the end of this race for us.
Driver of the day, silver, Clawbell. Gold, it's Post, because he's been solid all night. And I think Mr. Anderson, I said it like they do in wrestling, for bronze. But yeah, great first race, very clean. Second race, the gloves came off and everybody was hitting each other. Do you love second multi-races?
Yeah, indeed they was. Anderson P8 for bronze. Cherry Moore 13th. Kruppeljan was 11th. Privet.
I'm going to hit replay.
Broom was down in 10th. And Stapley finished 17th place. Right. We have got your overall race winner in the commentary box for a bit of a chat. It is Post himself. First of all, congratulations. What a night's worth of racing that was. It was... The weather played its part, Post, didn't it? It was tricky conditions out there, apart from in the races.
Yeah, well, thanks for the congrats. Yeah, the rain didn't come. I'm really glad because in the practice it was doubtfully if it was going to rain or not. I was glad it stayed dry.
Glad it stayed dry. Race 2, the qualifying for race 2 was very tricky. Damp, greasy, went too fast at the very, very end. Looked like you had the overall pace tonight to sort of put it on pole both times, but that kind of, with Mackenzie having the last lap of the qualifying session, managed to pit pole. So race 2, you had to do it the hard way, make a couple of overtakes, but it only took you the one lap.
It took me one lap, yeah. He had a really great lap, the last lap. And as you could have seen, all of the other drivers, we were really close together within a tenth of a second. So it was really close. Yeah, he got a pole position. It was a really good battle in the first lap. Managed to overtake him, and from there had to defend a little bit. But after that, it was pedal to the metal, and let's go.
We go to Watkins Glen next week. What can you do around Watkins Glen?
Yeah, the McLaren really likes Watkins. It's a fast circuit, so I'm hoping for another podium.
Indeed. Well, congratulations on the 2 race wins tonight. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
And we do have Gareth Anderson with us as well, your double bronze race winner for the evening. Well, what can I say about that? The pace was phenomenal tonight. 2 top 10 finishes. I bet that was something you didn't expect to achieve.
No, certainly not. I do love the track, as you can see, with sort of lap times and finishing positions. But I think the first thing I'd really like to say is, Rob Smith, thinking of you and the family. And I also, an apology to Cherry Moore with a bit of a door bash, and if he feels like he wants to throw it into the stewards for a review, please do so. I thought I was fine where I was, but we'll leave it to the stewards. But yeah love Kyalami.
Love Kyalami, and you could tell you love Kyalami because that racing was fantastic. You had a bit of a spin at the start of race 2, put you on the back foot, but you was carving your way through that field.
Yeah, got a bit of a bump in the back and spun me out, and I think I pretty much started the race then at the back of the race and got the bit between my teeth and did a bit of elbows out racing. Did my best to try and pick up as many spots as I could.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. We go to Watkins Glen, though, next week. Bit of a different circuit to Kyalami, but what can we do there?
Nothing.
Oh.
I won't be there.
Oh, there we go then.
I'm going to miss the next 2 weeks. Family commitments next Tuesday, and then a holiday the week after. So I'm going to miss one of them, being my drop round, and then another will just be a nil scoring round, unfortunately. So have a big impact on the championship for me, so I think that's why I did my best to put as big of a show on as I could tonight.
Indeed. Well, congratulations tonight. 2 bronze race wins for yourself and 2 top 10 finishes overall. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for what will be Snetterton. So we'll hope to see you back there for week number 6.
Appreciate it, lads. Thanks for the stream.
Thank you very much.
Catch you later.
Catch you later. And as you can see on your screen now, there is the calendar, which isn't the actual updated calendar, so ignore the dates. They have been moved back 2 weeks. But we do head to Watkins Glen next time out, but it's the rest of the Kyalami races this week. And as you can see from the little star next to Kyalami, it is the 2 GT3 90-minute races. Pro-Am with myself and Langley, and I believe it is me and Clouden in the box on Thursday night. Phil, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the commentary box tonight. Thank you for joining me.
Yep. Never know. Might jump in again during the season.
Be great to have you if you do.
So
Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified when we go live. 3 more races still left from SimPlay Motorsport this week. 290 minutes of Kyalami and Pro and Pro-Am, and then the 6-hour Nordschleife on Saturday with Yoshi Harris bringing you all the action in that one. From me, Phil, and everybody here at SimPlay Motorsport,